Yeah, so it might be difficult for you guys. If you guys have the Evolution Industries clutch system like I do, yes, it might be difficult for you guys to pull the clutch in and out several hundred times if you guys are stuck in traffic. So if you guys been following the channel, what I'm running on the bike is a Evolution Industries entire clutch basket, clutches, clutch system, pressure plate, and I also have the hardened ramp from Evolution Industries. So if you guys don't know, I'll explain to you a little bit. On a stock clutch system, there's only 3 springs. So on the Evolution Industries clutch system, you have 6 springs. So when you purchase the Evolution Industries clutch system, it comes with 6 blue springs. But me, because I have a 128 with 145 horsepower, Mike from Get Lowered actually noticed when he dynoed the bike that it was actually slipping a little bit. So what I have in there now, I actually have 3 red springs and 3 blue springs. So the blue springs that come with the high performance clutch system from Evolution Industries are rated to about 160 horsepower. And even though I don't have 160 horsepower, he's still seen a little dip, or a little spike I should say, on the dyno, to where he noticed that it was slipping a little bit. So what we did was I put in 3 red springs. So I have 3 reds and 3 blues, which are kind of evenly spaced. So there's 1 red here, 1 red, 1 blue, 1 red, 1 blue, 1 red, 1 blue. So the red springs actually are rated to 200 horsepower. So theoretically, I should have a rating of about 180 horsepower. And now, without a doubt, I feel it. There is absolutely 0 clutch slippage. Not to say I felt it before, I didn't feel anything, but the dyno picks up everything. The clutch is a beast. It holds and grabs like a freaking monster and just pulls the bike hard. But this is where the problem lies. Not so much for me. I'm a bigger guy. I have bigger hands, and pulling the clutch lever in and out is not an issue. Because there is 6 springs in here, and because those springs are really strong, so that pressure plate holds those clutches really tight, your clutch lever is going to be really hard to pull in and out. And I get that question so much, especially after I did the videos about the Evolution clutch system. Yes, it gets harder. It gets quite a bit harder, especially if you have the red springs in there, it gets hard. So like I said before, it's not so much of a problem for me, but I noticed on a couple rides when I was in traffic, or say when we do kind of a thing for the club when we're going in and out, you know, slow and then stopping a lot, then kind of it could get to a problem. Or if you're stuck in traffic, say for an hour and 2, pulling that clutch in and out a couple hundred times could kind of get annoying, especially if you're holding that clutch in, and that's kind of what you want to do. You want to keep the bike in first gear, especially if you're stopped. You don't want to put it in neutral, because if you're on the road, you want to keep the bike in gear all the time, just in case if you see something happen, something crazy behind you, all you got to do is just hit the throttle and let go of that clutch, and then you could go and get yourself out of that situation. But if you're neutral, you won't be able to in time, chances are. So let me show you another thing. If you guys are also running a stock clutch system on your bike, or even let's just say a aftermarket clutch pack, there is heavy duty springs that you could get from Harley Davidson or from the other manufacturers that you can change. So if you do have, say, your stock pressure plate, stock basket, your stock clutch system, except for, say, if you have upgraded clutch pack, then if I were you, I would definitely change out the springs to a more heavier duty spring. So this way that pressure plate holds better. Even, I'm gonna tell you, if you're doing like a stage 1, stage 2, if you're not going to do anything to the clutch, replace the 3 springs. So this way that pressure plate has more strength to compact the frictions and the steels together. So this way you won't have any clutch slippage or any problems down the road. But if you have big power, over 135, over 140 horsepower, I strongly recommend you get in the Evolution Industries clutch system. But anyway, let's move forward. So, like I said, this is the issue. I've noticed that my hand was cramping a couple weeks ago. We were stuck in traffic, in and out of a little bit of traffic. I don't have a problem with it, but I'm like, you know what? There has to be a solution. So I reached out to Mike from Get Lowered, and he actually told me there is 2 solutions. You guys may be aware of them. You may not be aware. But one solution is made in Germany by a company called Mueller, and it's called a easy pull. So all it is basically a kind of a mechanical advantage, like a cam plate that goes in on the other side right here by the transmission. That's where that goes. You have to take off the exhaust, you take off the transmission cover, and it's kind of right there. The other option we have is I think it's called the 1-finger pull or 2-pull. I think it's called the 1-finger pull clutch lever. I think there's like a mechanical advantage on the lever. I did feel that over at Get Lowered on one of the bikes that they were doing. But this Mueller system that I'm talking about, the first system, actually lightens up the clutch pull on the lever about 40 to 45%. So that would be amazing. That'd probably bring me like back to stock. And if you guys have a stock clutch system, you know how nice and soft and easy to pull that clutch lever is. This is like twice as hard, no joke. So we're gonna go that route. We're gonna go the route with the Mueller cam lever. I think that's what it's called. I'll show you guys a picture of the 2 systems, but I decided to go that route. So what I'm gonna do now is, because it's coming tomorrow, I'm actually going to move the bike a little bit over because we gotta work on that side. And then we're gonna start taking off the parts, and I wanna show you guys where exactly that part is gonna go. So this way we'll make a part 2 to this video. So this way when the part comes, I'll install it and immediately I'll take the bike out for a ride. We're looking at possible snowstorm this weekend. So I think I could get this in the next day or 2 back to you guys. Because if this works as expected, I'm definitely gonna let you guys know if it's great or not, or if I really don't feel a difference. But if this clutch lever becomes buttery smooth again, trust me, it's gonna be a big thumbs up for me. So let's move the bike over and I'll show you guys exactly where that part goes. So I'm just gonna disconnect my lithium battery tender. We're supposed to get a potential snowstorm this weekend, which I hope we don't, because I just can't stand the snow anymore. So since I'm working on this side, I'm actually not gonna put it back on the scissor lift. I'm actually just gonna leave it like this, so it's gonna be easy for me. The angle actually helps out on the bike, so this way I can work on it. So this is the thing between the 2 systems. The one system, the Mueller Easy Pull, there's a little more work involved. I'll explain why in a bit. The second option, the 1-finger pull lever, I think it's called, which I showed you guys, that's basically just at the top, kind of a lot easier to install. Much easier, I'm gonna say. So the first option, the Mueller, which I'm gonna go with, there's more work, but I think the clutch lever is just going to be a lot more buttery smooth, easier to pull back with that system, because they say it's almost like 40-45% easier. But this is the thing, it goes in here, and in order to take this cover off, you have to take the muffler off and you have to take the exhaust off, because there's bolts underneath right there that actually hold this cover on, and you can't get to them. That's the only thing that sucks. You cannot take one pipe off because the 2 pipes are actually welded together. So the entire exhaust has to come off. So that's the only thing that might be a little more difficult to some, but it's still super simple. Maybe if I take off the bolt in the back, the 2 bolts for the muffler, and maybe if I take off the bolt right there and just loosen up the where the head pipe goes into the cylinder, maybe I'll have enough room if I could get in there with the tool. But honestly, I highly doubt it. And I hope I don't have to take off my mid control, but it looks like I might have to, but that's honestly, that's not too hard. But I think for the result, I think it's worth it to spend maybe an hour or 2 working on my bike to have that clutch lever a lot softer, especially we're gonna be doing a lot of long trips on the bike. And I'm telling you, if you are stuck in traffic, you know, which I've been so many times on these long trips, or you're at a rally, especially a rally, you know, down at Daytona on Main Street, clutch lever, in and out constantly, a couple hundred times down Main Street. Your hand could get tired, you know, it could get uncomfortable, and it just, I don't know, it's not good. So why not be the most comfortable on your bike as humanly possible? So we're definitely gonna do this. All right, so let me take off the seat, and I'll take off the seat, I'll take off just the right side bag. I'll start unbolting the exhaust, and I'll just work my way this way and just see what I actually have to take off. So this way you guys know also what to do. Hopefully you guys could see this. This is the key from Saddlemen. I don't know if you guys could see that, but it's like a hex key, but it has actually a hole in the middle. And that is for my Saddlemen seat lock. If you guys have an expensive seat on your bike, make sure you get one, because you don't want nobody running off with your seat. All right, so the seat's off. So now I just gotta unplug my Custom Dynamics lights right here, as so. Oh, this is, let me tell you, I can't talk more highly about these little things from Rick Rack. Like right now, you see how I have to take off my bag, but you guys have like the hooks. Look how flush that is with the bag. You guys still have the stock hooks, I'm sure, where it sticks out literally like probably about an inch and a quarter, and then it starts taking up space. And also when you want to start grabbing stuff out of your bag, it always gets hooked onto those hooks. Check out these. Let me take one off. These are made by Rick Rack. I have links down below in the description, but I'm telling you, I love these things. Look how thin they are. Look how thin. You see? Rick Rack. It's a simple thing, but it saves so much room in the bag. And I'll just might as well show you here too. You could check this out at Rick Rack too, which I love. It's this little button that they sell right here. It's a Rick Rack part. The links are down below in the description. And I used to always leave like my gas cap like on top of the pump, and then sometimes it falls off and stuff. Look, it's rubber coated. It does nothing to the bike. Like a lot of people worry like, oh, I wouldn't put my gas cap on my tank. Come on, nothing. It doesn't do anything. But I'll tell you what it does. It keeps your gas cap right there on the tank, and then you have it right then and there, and you don't have to reach over for it. That thing is phenomenal. All right, let me take the bag off, then we'll work on the exhaust. Before, with the hooks, the stock bag hooks, I couldn't even put my camera bag in there without like crushing something, and then I couldn't even take like a hat out, or because they would get hooked onto the hooks. Real big pain in the neck. I'm gonna put my bag right here for now. So I have these 2 bolts. Beautiful bracketry they made me at Get Lowered. I got those 2 bolts, and then we'll see what else we have to take off. See what size that is. There we go. I'm telling you, this is like one of those parts that I'm actually super excited to put on, because it kind of gets annoying, you know, pulling that clutch in, that hard clutch in and out. But you know, when I'm riding and there's no traffic, there's no issue. But once you get into traffic, it's horrible because it's in and out, in and out, in and out, you know? And then, like I said, sometimes when you're just at a dead stop, you literally just have to hold the clutch because I don't want to keep it out of gear. I want it in gear just in case something happens. I could just boom and just go. All right, so now I'm gonna loosen up this big boy right here, this clamp. Yeah, I had to shut the camera off for a couple minutes while I was cursing this heat shield out. So these clamps, I do have a problem with these clamps. Sometimes they break, sometimes they snap, sometimes they just don't work. So I just had a issue with one of these clamps just now. And this is the cover that has to come off. Let me show you guys. So if you go right there, this is a cable actuated clutch. If you go down, it runs down the bike, comes here, and right there is where it enters into the transmission. So we have to take that cover off right there. We'll just drop that like that. And now we could take this cover off, lay it on the side. I have to take off the whole exhaust. Do you remember how I was just telling you guys how make sure your exhaust is tight and stuff? Well, the forward nuts, I made the video telling you guys make sure to check them, but I didn't check them yet because I was going to, because I knew I was doing this video, but they were really, really loose. You know, you could potentially have an exhaust leak, which you don't want, because you could create a lot of damage. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay it on my toolbox right there, and then I'm gonna actually lay it right on the mid control, because don't forget, you got your O2 sensors. I'll show you guys in a second over here, so you don't wanna rip them out. Bolts, and then I'll bring you guys in and show you guys what's happening here. Okay. All right, so not much fluid comes out. That's going to, I'm just going to let that drop. Interesting. I actually I never had a reason to take this cover off. Ah, I see what's going on in there. Okay, let me show you guys. So this is what's happening. Exhaust is down. You're definitely going to have to, without a doubt, 110% take the exhaust off. So then you have, I think it was 6 bolts on this trans cover. And this is where the cable to the clutch lever, all the way from the lever, comes down and goes inside. Let me move this bucket. Let me wipe that oil up right there first. As you guys know me, I like to keep a clean garage. And then I'm gonna move this over a little more. Okay. So then inside here, you see where the cable is? Right here, I'm gonna point to it. Right there is the cable. Then it gets hooked up to that round cam plate, right? So that's what we're going to, I see there's like a ring there that I'm gonna have to, snap ring I'm gonna have to take out. You see that, guys? So that cam plate is actually going to be replaced by that cam plate from Mueller, the Easy Pull cam plate. And that's what's gonna give us the 45% lighter clutch pull. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. This is where it grabs, right? And that's what actually depresses or pushes that whole shaft out and pushes that pressure plate out. So this way it can relieve the pressure off your clutch pack when you pull in the clutch. Really interesting. And then when they change out the transmission, they actually take off these big bolts. Like if you ever get a grudge box or whatever, they take out those bolts and they actually, the whole unit just slides out and the new one just slides right into the case. It's really interesting how they do that. Pretty wild. My buddy Nick actually blew his on the way to Laconia a couple years ago, and seen them do that. All right, so that's it. So the next step is to wait until tomorrow. I should be getting that Mueller plate, and then we'll put it together. I'll show you guys how it goes together. We'll put the exhaust back. Make sure all the bolts and the nuts are tight for the exhaust for our long trip down to Daytona. And then we'll take it for a spin, all right? I appreciate you guys. Love every single one of you. We'll see you guys on another one. Peace out.